My name is Jeremy Ungar, and I'm a filmmaker. So I became interested in film when I was really young. I saw my first Hitchcock film, and around the same time, I started getting exposed to like doing theater and specifically doing Shakespeare at this place in Topanga Canyon as a kid, which was called the Theatricum Botanicum, and was started by the actor Will Geer in the 50s. When he was blacklisted and couldn't work in Hollywood anymore, he started this theater kind of like out in Topanga Canyon. And they had a children's program that I did when I was growing up. And I fell in love with kind of the language of Shakespeare and at the same time with the cinema of Alfred Hitchcock and the suspense that he built. And that was kind of my jumping off point into the world of film. And I always knew that I wanted to be a film director, but I started directing plays in high school. And then from there, I went to college for theater directing and always knew that I wanted to be a film director, but knew that kind of like the thing that I felt like most interested in was working with actors. So that was kind of how my path evolved. So I feel like I've kind of been living in perpetual suspense as to whether I could craft a career out of my love for film and my desire to be a filmmaker. And it was around when in 2015, I wrote the script for a film called Ride, which became my first feature. And I remember looking at the pages that I'd written for this script and being kind of surprised that the dialogue had been written by me, which was an interesting and kind of surreal experience that made me think, wow, this could really be an actual film. And it ended up being the one that I sort of ended up making a short to prove that I could do the feature for, and decided to call every favor I possibly had. And then ended up becoming my first film. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I think the biggest thing I would say is, I think when I was young, I was really ambitious and really hungry to be moving quickly. And that's cool and that's necessary. But I also think it's not a race. And, you know, a career in the arts is a marathon, and there are going to be a lot of things that happen that are not ideal, and a lot of projects that you put all your hopes and dreams into that fall apart. And I think the thing I would tell myself is that stuff is good. That stuff is a part of the process. That stuff is something that doesn't need to be shattering. And you should completely invest in every single thing, even knowing that some of them aren't going to work, because I think that's the only way that you learn. For me, creativity is the act of expression, but I think it's specifically the ability that I'm kind of trying to constantly hone to express things that I can't just say. And ideas that really can't take a form in words for me, that it's just harder to articulate. And so you need to do something like make a film or write a song or, you know, write a scene of dialogue about it that says this, like, I don't know whether it's an idea or an experience or whatever the thing is. It can't be described in just a word. You need more than that. I would say that filmmaking is the thing that makes me come alive. And, you know, when I think about colleagues of mine who are my favorite filmmakers, who I know who are working right now, I think they all make the movies, or at least try to make the movies that they would want to watch. And that's what I try to do. And I think that, you know, when I was a kid and I would sit in like the darkened theater and watch a film, I would feel alive in a way that is special and unique to that specific place. And then, you know, very fortunately for me, I think I really do love the experience of being on set and the experience of running a set in a way that feels really positive. And when everyone's working really hard, but they're all really content with the work that's happening, I think that's where I feel most kind of personally fulfilled. So that is absolutely why I pursue filmmaking, and hopefully it lines up with good work down the line.